What's up, guys? This is Jason, creator of IdolCam. So today I'm in Huizhou. Huizhou is a city near Shenzhen. So it's almost like Long Island to New York City and San Jose to San Francisco. So today maybe we should go over whether in this day and age should you start a hardware company. As we all know, hardware companies are quite tough, especially in the beginning. It's very capital intensive, so it takes a long time and it's not for everybody. And then if you're good with software, I would say stay with software, because with software you get to get to where you need to go really quickly, because as soon as you unlock this product, if the product's good and people like it, you could instantly go into distributing with no problem. There's no like logistics, there's no more capital that you need to invest in to distributing this product. You just send it over internet, send it over website, whatever. But with hardware it's very different. You could have an amazing product. Let's say you just created the most amazing smartphone, like Apple phone 10 times better, but if you don't have money to create this phone, you're not going to be able to put it in the hands of customers. So that is the problem. In front of us it's actually the heliport, so it's going to be pretty noisy. I don't know how it's going to sound like with this, with the mic. So, but let's try it. We're good. We want to try different scenario, and we're right by the sea, so there's gusts every now and then also. Oh, here's a view. It's pretty decent. It's like there's not a lot of water near me, and it's the water further out, so it's a pretty nice area to come out here for the weekend. So yeah, so with hardware, not only do you have to develop the product, it takes a lot of money to develop product, and then after you're done developing product, every product that you need to ship to customers, you need to figure out how to come up with the fund to pay for the product. So with hardware, that is what you need to consider. So so you should ask yourself whether you just in it for making money. If you're just in it to, like, I don't care what kind of product, or there's a certain product I like, and then I want to make money very fast, quickly. So my suggestion, if that's the case, then you should look into distributing, selling, working with brands that you like. Let's say you like GoPro, or you like Apple, and you just be a distributor for GoPro and Apple. Usually you want to work with smaller brand, because you're not gonna get a GoPro or Apple distribution deal. So you want to search these little small gems out there that are less well known, but they have a lot of potential, like IdolCam here. So yeah, that's how you would start distributing. If you don't want to invest a lot of time building a product, then I would definitely go to the marketing, distribution for these new brands, and that you actually could make a lot of money, and then you don't have to worry about the the development overhead. You just have to be really good at marketing, and you need to spend a lot of time to build out these networks of like resellers. So it's a different game, but it's definitely less investment, but more like time, sweat equity. So you just need to build a lot of like a reseller network. So and another way to really get into hardware really quickly is through OEM. OEM is like, if you see a product that you really like, and there are a company that out there already building it, and all you need to do is like, hey, I want to customize here and there, and I need to put my logo on there, and then you don't have to redo the whole process. You just you know, using other people's you know, like developments, their factory, and then have them build the product for you, and they just put your, you know, special customized touches onto the product. So that is another lot quicker way and a lot less risk. The only problem is it's harder to differentiate your product to other people's. So that is the problem. And if you have something really clever, they would be the first person to do it for themselves, and then they give it to you. So yeah, so that's the other way to do it. It's quick and less risk, and you don't have to figure out a lot of the development, and you don't have to have other toolings for it. Other people have already done the process, so you just get the benefit. So this route would be really good if you're very strong with marketing, because if you're strong in marketing, you have a good product, even though it's, you know, there are other people selling similar product, but if you're able to wrap it and you're able to represent it in a good way, then OEM is a really good way to do it. And then there's a lot of OEM in China and all other countries you could look into and ask them. But I do find there's more OEM factories out here in China. So OEM, and then if you're the type of person that you say you notice a problem and everybody is not addressing properly, you think there's a better way to solving a problem, and then you think there's an opportunity, nobody's, you know, doing it, you're waiting for years and nobody's coming out with a product. Maybe you're that person to go out there and try to build something to address this market, and that is a lot of risk and it takes a lot of work, and often you're not in that field and you might run into a lot of problem, and a lot of time you're gonna find out that once you get into it, you understand there's actually a lot of issues that you need to solve. And so that is the other route. And if you have a really good product, if you have a really good concept, you might have a winner, and you might just, like, you know, take a really big chunk of the market, and that is very ideal. But oftentimes the first 1 or 2 tries is not going to happen, because there are so many issues that you're not going to see at this point. You know, the further down you're going to run into a lot of problems like funding, and then there's going to be always like issues with production. There's always going to be issues with all kind of other stuff that you're not going to see. Even like bigger companies like, you know, GoPro a while back, they built a drone. They built that what was the name of that drone? So they built a solid product, but I think there's one little issue with the battery, and the whole project pretty much lost momentum, and then I think they stopped producing the drones anymore. So things like that, little issues that you're not careful with, could cause the whole product to fall. So that's the danger with starting a complete new product. I'm that type of person. I like to, you know, tackle tough problems, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of issues that come along with it, and it takes a few tries to get it right. And so that's why hardware, it's not for everybody. But here's another way to do it. I think it's very smart. If you're in a certain field or hobby, then you understand a problem really well, and then instead of creating a complete solution, I say you create just a modification of certain thing. Like let's say a iPhone, you create the most amazing looking phone case. You know, it's very high-end, very expensive, and yeah, you want it to make it so it's very high-end and expensive, and the process of making it is not going to be crazy. Like, you'd be able to create it with maybe 1 or 2 manufacturers, and that's it. You don't want to create a product that's too complicated, and you want to create a product that's very customized, and it's very high value. So that's the other approach I would say for someone who wants to just get into hardware, and that is a very smart approach, because oftentimes you don't need a huge investment in that, and oftentimes you could like instantly sell these accessories, you know, high value, high price accessories. So I would look into that if you want to start hardware. So here's another view of the sea, and then it looks like it's gonna rain pretty soon. And then these are the buildings. You see there's a houses in the front, and then there's these tall high rises in the background. So the little individual houses, they go for about maybe $500,000, and then with renovation it's going to be close to $1 million in US dollar. And then the apartments, they go from anywhere from 100K to 300K US dollar. So it's decent considering where it's at. There's a lot of amenities. You got you know, the runway. I mean, what's that? This is the kind of like jogging track. You got a little helipad back there, and then you get fresh seafood every day. There's like a lot of people going out there fishing, and you could just, when they come in the morning, you just come out here and there are people selling these seafood, so which is pretty good. I'm heading back right now because it's starting to rain, and it looks like it's gonna rain pretty hard, so I need to keep moving back to indoor, otherwise camera and everything will be soaked. You can see the cloud back there. Earlier it was pouring like crazy, and right now, like 30 minutes later, it's the sky's all clear out now. So let's just continue with the hardware topic. So yeah, so there's four different ways, at least four different ways that I could figure out. I came up with. One is distribution, reseller. So that's the quickest. You just find the best brand that you like, and you just help people market, sell to different resellers. Then the other way is to OEM. So you know, you find a great product, you like it, and then you add your own little touches and create your own branding. So that's OEM. That's quicker than coming up with your own product. So a third way is like IdolCam, is to see an issue, a problem in the market, and no one is addressing that issue, and then you come up with your own unique solution. So that is the most impact and have the biggest chance to, you know, turn, like, you know, like to take a market share, but it's also the most risky, so not for everybody. Then the fourth one would be you see a great product out there and it needs some sort of like accessory, a modification to it, and you want to create a very high value type of accessory, a modification to a current existing product that have a lot of volume. That way you would be able to you know, like reap the you know, like a lot of needs from that market, you know, from that product. So it's like an iPhone, and you create the most amazing iPhone case. You know, you can make a lot of money that way. So that's the fourth scenario I could think of for hardware. And the last one I would say is you gotta be on top of the marketing, because marketing is very weak for most product creators. You know, like because you're just more of a hardware person. You're trying to solve people's problems, but then you also have to figure out how to sell the product. So that's another skill that you must have. It's a very critical skill. So if you're thinking about starting some sort of like product hardware type of company, You gotta figure out how you're gonna market this product, otherwise you will face a lot of issue down the line, because if you're not selling product, you're not moving product, then you don't have the fun to create product. So it's one of those things that you need to figure out. So that pretty much wraps up what I have to say, but you know, till next time, let's catch up and we maybe continue this topic or something else. I'm not sure. So I'll see you guys around. Have a nice day.